gentlemen, welcome to Field of 68's last call.
What's your go-to Applebee's order?
I don't go to Applebee's. We actually call it Crapplebee's, to be honest.
Who's the better team right now, Creighton, Marquette, or UConn?
Con.
What are you doing? What is that? Pray for Fanta. Oh, come on, Zach. Here we go. It's last call.
All right, welcome back. Last call here on Stadium. I'm Jeff Goodman. I'm here with Jarrell McNeil, former Marquette star. And we take all your questions, so make sure you fire away whatever questions you have. We're going to try to get to as many as we can today. And Jarrell, you ready?
Yes, sir. Ready to roll.
All right, listen. I'm going to hit you with the first one here. And Florida won a barn burner over Michigan tonight. Double overtime win, despite the fact that Doug McDaniel went off. And 33 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Really, really good point guard who's starting to shine. This is Juwan Howard's second game back as the formal full-time head coach. And they lose a tough one here to a Florida Gators team. I think both these teams are probably going to be maybe on the bubble, maybe NIT teams. Who knows at this point? What was your take on this game?
Oh yeah, it was actually it was a pretty entertaining game, to be honest with you. It was a little bit sloppy, a little bit up and down, a little too erratic at times. But two teams, like you said, I think it would either way. If this game would have went Michigan's way, in either of the two overtimes, it was going to be a big win for either team. And just Florida was able to come away with this win. And to be honest with you, their heavy hitters and their top guns didn't play particularly well. Riley Kugel had a tough night shooting the ball and didn't play a whole lot down the stretch. And Zion Pullen played really big minutes for them off of the bench. He was huge down the stretch. Ended up finishing out the game, but even Walter Clayton as well too. He really struggled with his shooting until the end. He made a couple big ones, but it's a big win for Florida. I think they're going to be, like you said, just a team that's going to be on the rise and on the bubble. They want to play fast, but they kind of just got to figure out some stuff offensively with their shot selections. But Tyrese Samuel was really good in this game too, man. Those guys played well and came out with a big win over Michigan.
All right, next question comes from Lucas. Is Butler for real? They're 10-2 after tonight's win. It came against Georgetown. I'm going to give you a little background on Georgetown. So my daughter and I saw them Saturday night. We got back from the Purdue. We did Kansas, Indiana. Then we went Purdue, Arizona in Indy. Yeah. And then we went to the JW Marriott to stay. Well, we saw the Georgetown team when we checked in. So that was about 8 o'clock at night on Saturday night. We leave. We went to Illinois for a couple games. We went to Bloomington for a women's game. Came back there last night, and Georgetown's still there. They played Notre Dame the other day, and then they played Butler tonight. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, they've been pampered for like 72 hours at the JW Marriott, Jarrell. Like, I'm going to take Butler in this one. The spread actually, I think, was half. I don't think Butler covered, but they won. They won. They're 10-2. And Thad Matta's like Thad Matta, when he had it going at Ohio State, had it going. I mean, he had Oden, he had Conley, Daquan Cook. I mean, they had dudes. Evan Turner, they had dudes. He doesn't have dudes at Butler. It's a hard job. But again, are they for real? I don't think they're for real, but maybe they could sneak into the NCAA tournament. Maybe if they finish like 5th in the Big East, maybe they can get in, Jarrell.
No, absolutely. And I think I think right now, if the Big East has any shot at probably getting 6 teams in, I would put Butler's chances ahead of St. John's for sure. And I know guys were saying that they thought Coach Pitino was going to be able to get them in this year, but I just think St. John's is still at least a year away and some more recruiting class or transfer portal guys away from getting into that tournament, especially once these Big East games get to rolling. But, man, like you said, Thad Matta has done a great job. He's a guy who's kind of familiar with the territory and the landscape of the Midwest. And like you said, not an easy job. and we obviously you're not looking for anybody to ever recapture that type of magic that Brad Stevens had. Until he makes
Never.
his return, as you said, but
That's one of the best
he's got him going right now.
What Brad did, getting Butler to back-to-back national title games, I still say is one of the top 5 or 10 achievements ever in college basketball history. I mean, doing the first one from
Yeah,
the Verizon League, it's ridiculous.
back to back, back to back is insane. At Butler is crazy, and that's not to take a shot at Butler's. Just as far as the way some of these teams and resources and things are kind of stacked up against them, man. A small school in Indiana, like you're doing something to go back to back like that. So I guess that's why why he's at where he's at now. So
yeah, he's got a pretty good gig right now with the Celtics.
Man,
All right, John,
sweet gig.
sweet gig. By the way, actually, one of the interesting things will be: does Brad Stevens ever coach again? That's a question. I'll ask you that one. Do you think Brad Stevens ever coaches again? I say he does when his kids get older. His son will go to, I believe, Notre Dame as a walk-on next year to play for Micah Shrewsbury. His daughter, I think, will be a junior in high school. I think he loves the fact that he could set his schedule a little bit and see his kids' games and be around his kids more. But I think when they get older, I could see him coaching again.
I completely agree, especially with him being such a young guy, and just that family dynamic is so crucial to that. Like you said, as his kids get older and they start to grow up and start, become completely independent and go out on their own, he'll find himself with more time on his hands. And more than anything, I'm sure the competitor in him kind of doesn't like the way that his last gig ended in Boston, coming up
That's
a
a
little
good
bit
point.
short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's got something in the back of his mind, like, well, I'm able to be successful at this and do the front office stuff, and he's done it at the college level. But I think at some point, if he comes back, he's definitely going back as an NBA coach, right?
Yes. Oh, no question.
Yeah.
No question.
College days are over. Yeah.
Well, the only thing I've always said is if he's like 62 years old and Butler's in a really bad spot, like he loves Butler so much that if they
That
called
much,
him and
yeah.
he was on the beach at 62, retired, and they called him and they were like, "Hey, Brad, can you come back and just get this thing back on track for us?" I swear, I think he'd do it. I really do. He loves it that much.
I
All
believe
right,
that. I can see that.
let's get to some of these other questions. All right, John, Baylor and Duke play tomorrow. Who's going to win that one, Jarrell? Because it's going to be a war because Baylor just got embarrassed at Michigan State. I mean, completely embarrassed. And Duke hasn't been what we thought Duke would be. And I don't think they're going to Tyrese Proctor tomorrow night. So who do you got, Baylor or Duke at MSG in New York tomorrow?
Oh man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. You
Yeah,
said
I
with
agree.
no Proctor, no Proctor is a game changer, and like you said, Baylor coming off of a tough loss, obviously they're gonna want to come out and bounce right back with a major statement win. But man, Duke has kind of been off the radar. They dropped some early ones against some good competition as well. Uh, but are they gonna have enough to get them over the top? MSG though, you know what, I'm gonna take Duke. It's gonna be a heavy
Yes.
Duke presence. I feel like in Madison Square Garden,
It always is.
it'll probably sound like a home game. Yeah, everybody enjoy the trip to Times Square, so I'm gonna go Duke.
I'm with you. I'm going Duke because, while Baylor got embarrassed, they didn't play the toughest competition this year. They beat Auburn the opener. They played Florida, but they haven't played the schedule. Not that Duke's played a gauntlet, but they played some pretty good games. I mean,
Yeah.
haven't been as successful as we thought. So I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go Duke in a close one here. All right, another big game tomorrow. Alabama or Arizona. It's in Phoenix, Jarrell.
I gotta go. I gotta go Arizona. I'm gonna go Arizona. Alabama is. I mean, expect a shootout, right?
Yes.
Hammer the over. The
Yes.
over's gonna be at over 200 total points scored. So I'm sure it'll be a bit of a shootout. Obviously, kind of a home but not home game for Arizona. They'll pack that place out and have a good home court advantage there. And right now the cats are playing. They're playing good, man. They're playing as good as anybody right now, outside of that loss to Purdue, and who just merely made them look mortal.
All right, we'll be back taking more of your questions. Stadium last call. All right, welcome back. Stadium's last call. I'm Jeff Goodman here with Jarrell McNeil, taking all your questions. And Jarrell he went with my Arizona Wildcats against Alabama in Phoenix. I'm with him. I think it's going to be a bounce back game for Tommy Lloyd and company. I think you're going to see Kai Boswell have a huge game. He did not play well. He's a tough kid who I think is going to take it personally that he got outplayed by Braden Smith and some of those Purdue guards. And I think he's going to have a huge game against Alabama. And like you said, Jarrell, Alabama can't guard me right now. So I think Arizona's going to put up big, big numbers. All right, give me your thoughts on the bragging rights game this week. Illinois, Missouri, I believe it's Friday night. I just saw Illinois beat Colgate. They kind of sleptwalked through the second half. They're really good in the first half. And I'll tell you what. All right, so you want my true thoughts here, right, Jarrell? You know me.
Let's do it.
Terrence Shannon is a MFer right now. Like, he's playing as well as almost any player in the country when he wants to. And he's been very consistent this year. I told you this before, and I'm still worried about your boy Ty Rodgers. I just don't think he's a point guard. I don't think he's a point guard. I think he's great coming off the bench as a Swiss Army knife type guy. And he played pretty well against Colgate. He actually, made guys better at times. I just think like that point guard position, Jarrell, you're either a point guard or you're not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all situational too, though, and like you said, just like even like the last time we talked about it, Jeff, is he a prototypical point guard who's gonna dictate, control pace, know when to slow down and speed up, and how many timeouts we got? And like, no, not necessarily. He's more of a kind of a hybrid point guard forward, if you will. But he's definitely a guy who can help them and help get other guys opportunities in the right situations. I definitely think they should start to utilize it and draw more stuff up for him when he has mismatches to get easy opportunities, because he's a willing passer as well too. You know what I mean? So I think that'll help them with their offensive flow. Now, does it look like he has to have a ball in this game and be setting up plays? No, because at the same time they do have Terrence Shannon, so that's a luxury that you don't necessarily need. But I think they need him to play. I think they need him to start.
You've watched them a ton. What do you think of Shannon, and do you think Missouri has any shot against Illinois in this one?
I absolutely love Shannon. He's a big time player, a really good athlete, man. That kid gets downhill. He's strong, he's athletic, and man, he puts pressure on the defense consistently. Obviously he's not as effective when you push him going right a little bit more. But I think he's gotten better to a point where he can still get to that way now. And now I think the next part of his game is just gonna be making plays, man. That guy's gonna draw so much more attention, just with his ability to score and put the ball in the hole. That he's got to continue to make those extra passes and those rotational plays to get some of these other guys easier looks, because we know he's gonna come out and get his 20 regardless. So if he's able to help and generate a little bit more attention and get those guys some easy looks and get somebody else going, that'll be great for their team. But I'm taking Illinois in this one. I think it'll be a close game, though. It'll probably be more of a slow down, rugged defensive game. I know D Gates is going to try to come in, and he's going to want to get that win for sure. And he's got some tough, scrappy dudes over there. Not the most talented group, but those guys competing. They've been in just about every game they've played this year.
Yeah, and that's obviously the rivalry. Listen, I saw the women's rivalry. I was there for the women's game, and that one came down to the end. So I don't expect anything less from the men. All right, here's a good question for you from Jimmy. Curious to know the answer to this one. Where was your favorite place to play in the Big East, and why?
That's an easy one. It was always Madison Square Garden. And I tell people that to this day, it's unmatched just as far as environments playing. We were lucky enough where during the time I was there, most of the time and I'm not gonna say most of the time, every time that we played St. John's in New York, we were at the Garden. Because it was just one of those games, and that's just kind of how I feel. And then we also always got the opportunity to go back and do the Big East tournament there, and they did the big thing with the gifts and the ceremony. You find out all the awards and everything before that, man. And it's a week straight of being in Times Square on all the big screens. Everybody kind of looking at you. I just saw this guy on TV a couple minutes ago. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. It's unmatched just environment wise. Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. We used to, the biggest thing is that you want to win and extend it as long as you possibly could. You know what I mean? You stick around for, I think you can stretch out like almost a straight week if you win enough games there. And we always made it about 3 or 4 days. But yeah, just being there and kind of seeing everybody else come and go as they're losing. And, we used to always walk down, and we always stayed at the West End when we were there. So we would walk right out and just hit the strip after games, before games, just get the real New York experience, man. There's nothing like playing at the Madison Square Garden.
You ever get in trouble for missing curfew?
We did not. It was a little bit harder to keep tabs on guys in New York too. So I had my man Big L working security, man. You gotta distract him with a chocolate milk and get up out of there. So yeah, while his head is turned. But for the most part, we had good guys. We had guys that were responsible. So we didn't do too much and get into too much trouble. It was always a good experience. But the main thing was always the main thing. And you were there to try to compete for a Big East championship. So
Lazard never, he wasn't a bad influence on you?
No, Czar was good. You never saw Czar. He was probably too busy with visiting his family and people whoever he had coming down the game. Yeah, that's my guy there, man. He's was the best, man.
All right, Jake's got a question here. Does Seton Hall have any shot to beat UConn? I'll answer that one with one word. Well, 2 words. Hell no. Hell no. Right? You got anything else?
I'm complete agreement with you. I want Shaheen Holloway to get some wins under his belt, man. But it's a little bit tough sledding. Yeah, they do.
Sean needs NIL. All right, we got one from Brady. This is a little bit of a joke, probably at me, but I actually put Andre Curbelo as a preseason first-team All-American 2 years ago at Illinois, his sophomore year. Well, he was coming up that freshman year. He made everybody better. He was with Kofi. The joke was here, does Curbelo, who just made his Southern Miss debut last night, have enough time to catch Zach Edey for National Player of the Year? Listen, I'm just rooting for Bello. I'm just rooting for Bello to have a good season this year. Make it through the year, have a good season under head coach Jay Ladner, and finish his college career with some stability. Because I really like Bello, and I think he is talented. He's just got to be in the right place with the right coach as much as anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. He's at his time where he has looked really good, and especially in those early days at U of I and things like that, man. So yeah, wishing him the best for sure. A lot of different styles, but hopefully this is the last and the right one.
Yeah, like I said, like Bello, he's not catching Zach Edey, but hopefully he can have a good season this year. All right, we'll be back after about the Hummel jersey. All right, welcome back. Last call. I'm Jeff Goodman here with Jarrell McNeil taking all your questions. We got one final segment, and Brian wants to know the update on the Hummel jersey. So, in case you don't know, Jarrell, I went to Arizona. Hummel obviously played at Purdue. So they played, we had a little wager that if Arizona won, Hummel was going to have to dress head to toe in Arizona gear. But if Purdue won, which they did, I have to wear a Robbie Hummel jersey. So now I have to find the jersey, Jarrell. And now I was fine with that. I was fine with having to wear the jersey. But then Hummel put an after the fact stipulation, which is that I can't wear any sort of undershirt, t-shirt, nothing under. Yeah. So now the problem, Jarrell, like I was gonna just go get it and wear it like next week. Now I'm thinking to myself, I'm down here in Charleston for a little while, and I'm gonna have to go get like a set of weights or something to make sure I don't embarrass myself, right?
You got, yeah, for sure. You gotta we gotta do some push-ups or something, Jeff. Get you ready for that. With he's gonna make you go bareback under the Humble jersey, huh? That's a rough one. Hey, look, that's a hell of an add-on stipulation.
He wanted
it
me
wouldn't
to
have been
pay.
as bad without.
He also asked, and I declined on this. He wanted me to get the 1970s Purdue shorts with it, and I'm like, I'm not wearing those things.
The Jackie Moons.
I'm not
Jackie
doing that.
Moons.
It's like I got to walk down. Like I got to get my iced coffee in the morning here in Charleston. I'm going to be in my Robbie Hummel, and all the students, all the Charleston students, are going to see me. I mean, they got to be.
Sure.
Yeah, I can't have that. I can't have that.
You'll make somebody's morning. You'll make somebody's morning, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll make somebody's video on Twitter out there of how bad I look. All right. What are my thoughts on the Braves losing to the Phillies? This comes from our producer, Dagan Jarrell, who's a big Phillies fan. All I'll say is neither one won at all. Like, neither one won it. Last I checked, I think the Phillies lost, didn't they? So I'm okay. As long as the Phillies didn't win it all, I'm okay with my Braves. I became a Braves fan. A name, I don't know if you're a big baseball guy. Maybe were you a Cubs?
White Sox? I am huge White Sox. Yeah, I'm a South Sider. No, yeah, I hate the Cubs. Yeah.
So yeah. I like the Braves because growing up in Boston, Tom Glavine was from Massachusetts, and I knew him. And there you go. I like it. All right, Trevor, can cereal be considered soup? Jarrell, can cereal be considered soup?
Absolutely not. Cereal cereal alone is its own specific dish. Like, and a lot of people kind of, they push it toward the breakfast entree type of demo, but it's kind of an anytime food. Cereal, cereal, a bowl of cereal, cereal. Cereal is not soup.
It is
Definitely not soup.
nuts. There's no way it's soup, Trevor. So if you think it's soup, man, I don't know. By the way, Jarrell, also, before we do toast of the night here in a minute, I just want to let you know that Trevor, our producer, is fighting through it tonight. He is fighting through it because we went out when I was in Champaign. Was 2 nights ago now. We ate dinner. I'm not going to say the name of the place because I don't want to get the place in trouble. We went to a nice upscale place. He told me it might have been the nicest place in Champaign. Me, my daughter, and Trevor. And had dinner, great spot, great meal. Everything was awesome. And Trevor hits me the next morning. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" "Yeah, fine. We're fine." He had a little bit of a tummy ache. And he had to go to that like emergency care, not the ER, but like one of those emergency care type places. Because his belly couldn't handle it, so he's fighting. He's honestly, give him credit.
Food poisoning?
I don't think it was food poisoning. I think it was just a bad belly ache. So I don't know, but he's okay. You've seen him, you've heard from him now. I mean, talk about battling through an injury. That's what Trevor did for us. Like you think it's been tough for us, but he's gotten through it.
I'll take this over the flu game.
That's right. It's his version of the flu game. That's what it is. All right, toast of the night.
Through, Trevor.
Who do you got? Who do you got, Jarrell?
I got to go with, obviously you got to give credit where credit is due. I'm going with the Providence Friars. Coach Kim English has done a great job in his first year on the gig, man, and they got a very quality statement win over my Golden Eagles tonight. To my disliking, but you got to give credit where credit is due. I think they did a really good job with their game plan. And they came out ready to go, and Marquette wasn't able to just quite get their feet underneath them the entire time. So, toast to the night, Providence Friars.
Devin Carter, man. Devin Carter was awesome.
Good player. He'll be all league.
I'm going with Cal State Northridge. I'm giving it to the entire team. Deontay Bostic led him with 18 points. They beat UCLA tonight. Cal State Northridge with the win over the Bruins. It just ended. Mick Cronin struggling a little bit right now. They don't really have a good win so far. So Cal State Northridge. All right. Listen, for Jarrell McNeil, for Trevor Valise, I'm Jeff Goodman. Thanks for joining us. Last call in Stadium. We'll see you tomorrow.